The number one thing about positioning is that you should always hold high ground, especially on this map. Verdansk, it was a lot easier to get away with being like first floor as opposed to top story. But in this map, you always want to try and control height. That is the number one thing that I preach on stream, is you need to hold the high ground on this map. Hey YouTube, OPMarked here. I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this video. It's a series that I've been wanting to do for a long time. We did one all the way back in Verdansk. I just kind of got really caught up with streaming and our daily, streams. So it kind of just slipped my mind over time. But it's something I really want to do now that Caldera is in Warzone. I know it's not the fan favorite map, but it is still very important to know exactly just how to win, positioning, different strategies, things like that. So today we're going to be going ahead and breaking down one of my solo games. It is a win. It ended near mines. I just want to go ahead and break down kind of like the inside the mind of the #1 player in Warzone. As some of you guys know, I'm #1 for wins in all of Warzone right now. I have over 5,800 wins total, and it's climbing every day. If you guys want to see any of this footage, things like that live, I actually stream on Twitch nearly every single day. So if you guys want to go check that out, all of that's going to be in the description below. But I just want to go ahead and break this gameplay down for some of you guys. That way you guys can also pick up on some tips and tricks, things like that. Maybe there's some things you didn't know, or some that you do. But let's go ahead and let's jump right into the footage. All right, guys, so we're gonna be going ahead and breaking down this footage here. I'm gonna be pausing it in between just so I can go ahead and kind of break things down for you guys. This was pulled directly from my stream, so you're gonna hear me talking to chat every once in a while, or thanking people for a sub or follow or whatnot. We're just talking about random stuff in general, but this is basically the beginning of the game right here.
Juicy's actually killing it on
I'll probably just turn the volume down when I'm trying to make random comments, things like that. But right now what we're doing is essentially we're trying to break down the map right now. So we get to look at the first circle, and we're just trying to analyze where exactly. So we're gonna try and keep the same strat on Caldera that we did on Verdansk, which is the Recon strat. This is gonna be normal BR solos, so it's a little bit different than the Vanguard series that's out right now. They just changed the playlist to basically remove all of the BR mode, I think, except for quads. So this is a little bit different than Vanguard Royale, but we're going to go ahead and break this one down anyway, because I think it's a really good game in terms of our positioning, where we were set up, things like that. I know not every circle is going to be able to end like this, but this does give you kind of an insight of how exactly I like to play the game. So right now we're going to go ahead and break down the map. We're going to try and see, where flight path is, how big the circle is, where the most recons are, also where we think the most safe spot on the map is going to be. So right now off the break, I see, I think it's about 5 to 6 recons in Arsenal. I decided to kind of look over there and see exactly what's going on. I also saw that there was a ton of recons down in Capital, which is outside the zone as well. So if we take a pause here, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 recons in Capital. And since it is on the outside of the zone, we can kind of assume that not many people are going to actually be going there. So we end up deciding that we're actually going to go to Capital instead of Arsenal. Only because in the moment I was thinking Arsenal is usually a hot drop, kind of. It is one of my favorite spots to land, although it's a lot of other people's favorite spots to land as well. So it's probably going to be really packed with as many people who go there. Now, this is one thing that is good to note here, is I'm paying attention to exactly where everybody is dropping. There's 143 people in the lobby, and 50 people have already jumped over airfield. And I just kind of keep it in the back of my mind to try and see where everybody is going. So I say, you know what? I don't think I really see that many people going Capital. I'm going to go ahead and long shoot all the way to Capital and try and get all of these recons done. So as you can see, it looks like there's about 2 or 3 people heading in this general direction. This guy was giving me a little bit of an uneasy vibe, so I kind of just started to mess with him. I didn't want to get shot out of the air. But it ends up being that he wants to try and kill me, so I get in a little bit of a dogfight here. I cracked him initially. Basically, what I'm doing right here is just trying to stay under him so that there's no way he can really cut and try and shoot me without me seeing him. He ends up diving all the way down to the tents area over here. And now I still only see about 1 person coming this direction. So we see this recon pulled almost 200 meters away. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get basically some of the like convenient things to grab here. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to head straight there. We know that this guy's on resort, so we definitely have to keep an eye out for him. But right now we're just going to try and capture this recon. So we're almost done capturing this one. And then we know that the other recon we're looking at is the far left area. So we're going to start heading over to that direction. I was still very cautious to head over here because we know that there was a guy over here. And it ends up being that I believe we hear him right above us. So we end up hearing his footsteps right above us. So what I did is, since now that stims are actually so incredibly like powerful, I went ahead and I decided I'm just going to go ahead and stim, and I'm going to try and get as far away from this guy as I can. I'm trying to break the line of sight right here by getting behind the wall. And then I'm going to go to the left over here. Turn around, try and see if he's looking at us. He's not. We're going to keep just marching on over here. Try and get this second recon done. Now, it's important to note, because I know a lot of people in my chat are always saying, well, when I try and do recons, this and this happens. I get always snuck up on, or I always end up fighting 10 people or whatnot. I think the main strategy that I try and follow in terms of trying to avoid the most amount of people is trying to find a cluster of these recons that are really far away from the flight path. That way you at least know and you can see who's heading in the general like area. That way you know what to expect. You can kind of know how many people are in this area, you know, how many people have a chance of killing me, how many, you know, do I have a chance of running into. So we ended up seeing only the one guy that was heading to resort. So right now we know that there's at least just one guy heading to resort. And then there's going to be some more people on the like bottom leftish of the map, but they're not anywhere going to be close to capital. So right now we're trying to capture the second one. We're getting a little bit of a good picture of what the circles are going to end up being. We kind of see that it's going to be ending near mine-ish a little bit. I mean, there's still a lot to see in terms of what this map could be. So that's why we're doing all of these recon, just to see exactly where it's going to end.
Contract complete. Recon intel secure.
I'm going to hop into the car now, try and find my next recon. There are two more in capital. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get both of them done.
Objective update.
All right, we pick up this recon. So I think we're pretty free in capturing this. We hear the truck firing. That could be an indication. It is good knowledge to know that when this truck does shoot, usually that means that there's another person nearby. It could either be yourself it's shooting at, or it could be another person. So it kind of just lets you know you should be alert and, you know, maybe think that there's somebody near you. And that's what I'm doing, pre-aiming all these windows. Just thinking there might be somebody who jumps through one of them. Not really sure because of the truck, but...
Primary objective accomplished. Recon intel secure.
All right, we captured this one. And then we're looking to go and capture the other one that's behind us.
This one I'm not really hyped for any con.
And it looks like that truck did alert us to somebody that was in Capitol. So they kind of beam us up there. They were at the top of the Capitol building. We ended up just plating up in the car, and you know what? We're basically gonna say, you know what? We did that recon over there. It's okay.
I'm not really hyped for any Call of Duty.
We're gonna just try and get out of here, essentially. There's more recons on the map we can go and do. That's fine. We don't need to do all of them there if it's gonna be a risk to our life. So we see two more over here on airfield and power plant side. It looks like that's the next ones we're gonna try and go for, because again, we didn't really see anybody kind of floating on that side of the map. And since our car is half health, we're gonna go ahead and trade it out for the SUV, which is just a better vehicle. I feel like honestly it's a little bit harder to shoot people out of the SUVs now. I don't know what they might have changed, but it does appear to be a little bit tougher. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this recon. It pulls pretty close to us. That's awesome. Backside of power plant here. But the first thing we're gonna do is, since loadout just dropped, generally what I like to do is I like to just send it straight to the loadout, because usually if you're the first one there, you know, it's usually a good thing. This guy is a bot. We're gonna run him over. Don't really have to try. There's another loadout here, so we're gonna try and be quick and just getting our loadout and dipping. And we're gonna use our car. Essentially, we're not gonna try and get out to capture these recons, especially because the car is kind of our safe spot. So keep driving. The thing that I try and do is I keep driving back and forth, just so, you know, if anybody does end up shooting me, I am in like a constant state of motion. That way it's not going to be, I'm not just sitting there like a free target for a snipe or anything like that. I'm going to be able to kind of pick up and drive either backwards, forwards, if I do end up getting shot. So all right, so by this time we've done about, I think, 4 recons or so that we can see the next zones. So we do see that it is going to end up being a mine circle. Mines are kind of tough just because of the verticality and all the different little like nooks and crannies that people can be in. So we want to try and see exactly which side of the mines this is going to pull to, because we need to know which side we need to take. Right now it's kind of like center mines, which isn't great. Usually these kind of like to hard shift in general directions. I've noticed on Caldera, it's not necessarily just like a centering thing. So we really need to try and figure out which side of mines is going to end. We pick up this recon because it's close. It looked like we had some spawn once that circle closed. And this one actually, we're getting pretty lucky here with these pulls. They're actually pulling very close to each other. I don't know if they changed this up or anything, but this these recons have been pulling very, very quick, like very close to us. Again, I apologize about all the, I really need to figure out a way to kind of record just the gameplay audio. That way it's a lot easier for me to record and then like do these voiceovers. I'm gonna try and get better at that. So now we're getting shot from the top like ATC building, and we're gonna just drive away. Right now I'm kind of okay with exactly how many recons we have because it gives us a general idea of where we need to play on this side of the map. But honestly, if I could get away with another recon, it'd just kind of be like free money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically try and see, what I'm trying to determine in my mind right now is if this is going to hard shift and if it's going to pull to this house, or if it's going to stay up on the hill. I really would like to know that. Although the number one thing about positioning is that you should always hold high ground, especially on this map. Verdansk, it was a lot easier to get away with being like first floor as opposed to top story. But in this map, you always want to try and control height. That is the number one thing that I preach on stream, is you need to hold the high ground on this map. Because generally, I like honestly like 9 times out of 10, high ground always wins on this map. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I really want to try and figure out where the last one is. I see a recon all the way back in back airfield. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just try and go for it, see if I can capture it, get a little bit more knowledge on the circle. And we found our bounty now. He's ending up shooting us, so we know that he's over by the H building, which gives us a little bit of time. He's on a car or anything. He's not gonna be able to catch up to us very quickly. So we're going to try and go ahead and get this done really quickly. We ended up going to 1 bar there on the threat level now. And we're just going to try and get this done as soon as possible. We're going to try and be... Alright, so we got this down. We got this done, should I say. We got that recon done. Now we actually see where the circle is ending. In my mind right now, I'm thinking, okay, so there's a building center zone right now that we could essentially hold. Now, again, this is BR solos, so it's a little bit different than the Vanguard solos out right now. You can't necessarily use claymores or like prox mines, how we're going to do it in this one. But right now, since we are in the BR solos, I am running restock and claymores on my class. That way it's easier to hold down a position. But right now, I'm still kind of just trying to figure out if I want to play the cliff, because it is technically high ground, or if I want to play in that building, which is going to be a lot stronger. So right now we have in the bottom left, you can see we have $22,000. We don't have our self-res. We don't have our gas mask. I don't believe we have a kill streak or munitions box, and we need our second loading. So I'm going to try and do right now is get to a part of the map that I can easily buy. Now remember that our bounty was again over here at H-Buy. So I'm going to try and see if I can get away with using this buy right here. Right next to us. I'm just kind of scouting the area, seeing if anyone's shooting at me. I'm also talking to chat right now, so there's a little bit of a distraction here. But again, we go up to 2 bars, so I'm kind of hesitant to use that buy right there, because I don't really want to get snuck up on and, you know, basically get sent to the gulag and then we have nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive all the way out here to Lagoon, where ideally no one should really be, because it's edge of the map and it's Lagoon. So hopefully nobody should really be over here. What I've been doing on Caldera has been using my vehicle to try and block, because most of these buys are out in the open. I've been using the car to kind of block a general side. That way I like limit my ways of being shot at and killed. So I'm using it on the right side here just so I can protect my side. You're going to go ahead and see me buy a loadout. I'm going to try and get a munitions, a self-res, gas mask, kill streak, things like that. So I end up getting everything I really need. So I got my munitions box just in case I need to make a stim plate or I need more ammo. I got my gas mask again for a gas play, anything like that, and I got my self res just in case I went down. Now, you notice I got my bounty averted, which gave me a ton of money just because I have that plus 150 multiplier right here, if you guys can see. So that means just from surviving it, we got like $3,000. So now we can go out and buy a cluster strike for our kill streak. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out the rotate. Now, right now we're being a little bit greedy in terms of the recons, although in the moment of this game, I kind of got a sense of that on this side of Lagoon, there really wasn't anybody. Just because of how far the zone was, I felt that there wasn't anybody on this side of the map. So I felt pretty confident that I could just go and get this recon done pretty easily. And it's important to note that while doing all these recons as well, my multiplier, and I'm getting a lot of money from them. So it is always important to continually stack like these recons or just any kind of, you know, contract in general, just because you always get that multiplier. That way it's always increasing the amount of money you get and the amount of like experience and stuff.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Again, this isn't the best lobby. I went ahead and I looked it up. This lobby was a 1.17 KD lobby. So it wasn't on the higher spectrum of those lobbies where we normally get like 1.3s, 1.4s. Since this is a solo, solos have a lot less like SBMM into it, so the lobby averages are actually a lot lower than what you would expect in like quads or trios or duos even. So now we see that the zone is going to shift towards the middle of mines. So it kind of has my brain thinking, you know, maybe we do a gas play, or hopefully we can kill everybody in final zone before that actually happens. We'll just kind of have to play it by sight and exactly see what's going on when, you know, things are going on like in endgame. So right now our main objective is to try and get to this side of the map. Now, if you guys have been playing the new map Caldera, this is like around peak area. So what I've been thinking is I was thinking originally, I think maybe I want to take that building, but I played the game, you know, enough times now to know that building right there is like one of the gondola buildings. So there's a first floor, and then there's a small little ledge above where you can climb up with a indoor ladder that has like 2 or 3 windows up there as well. So it really is not the strongest building to hold, but it might be one that we can kind of just like ride out in and kind of camp. On the other hand, I was thinking we could take this buy building up top where the redeploy balloon is, because that's technically high ground in this like final zone right here, the really big yellow zone right here. It is still high ground, and I don't think that a lot of people are going to be rotating down from peak. I think once everybody kind of sees this, you're going to kind of be in like these clusters of buildings and even just generally mines, because there's really not a whole lot of space for people to be. So that's what we're going to go ahead and try and do. All right, so I start getting beamed up in the back, and I decide, you know what? We're just going to leave that guy be. We're going to drive over here, and we're going to try and take this high ground, because in my mind right now, I'm thinking that building isn't good enough for us to hold for the last 10 minutes of the game, even 15 minutes of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this building up here that has a buy as well. That way, if I do need to buy anything, it's just right outside. So it's very convenient for us to have the redeploy balloon and the buy right where we're going to be. Also, the building that we're trying to play is extremely strong in that there's only 2 entrances in. And again, since this is just regular BR solos, we're running restock claymores, so we can always basically have claymores at the ready. And again, we look and we see it's looted, so we know nobody really should try and like be here, but we're gonna go ahead and plate up, and then we're gonna try and scout it out first. Close the door behind me, set a claymore down. And this is a good idea that I actually haven't really done before, besides this game, is since there is two doorways into this building, and I only can put down 2 claymores at a time, it means that I'm gonna have to put 1 claymore at each door, which isn't strong enough to down somebody on its own. So what I went ahead and I did is I put a claymore down, and then I dropped these canisters right in front of it, because once my claymore blows up, it's gonna blow that canister up as well. And we all know that the canisters are actually pretty broken. So nobody's in here. Again, I'm going to close the doors, put a claymore down, and then I'm going to try and basically put these gas canisters to where they should be. And then once it walks in, they'll basically blow up. Now, I will admit that this part of the gameplay isn't the most exciting. But this is where like I kind of really like to just vibe with chat and, you know, answer questions, talk to them, whatnot. But, you know, so the next, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes of the gameplay. Might not be the most interesting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and like fast forward it. I believe 2 people actually try and run in our building. As you can see, like it's been a couple minutes with nothing. So we're just kind of chilling here. I think we hear their footsteps. Claymore goes off, blows both of the gas canisters up, insta-downs this guy. We essentially get a free kill. Close the door, and when we have restock claymores, we have another one to put down there already. What I'm going to do is also I'm going to take that gas canister from over there and put it down here just for some extra damage. And we're going to go and kind of reset our base right now. Kind of just waiting for somebody to push us. Waiting for the... Really what we're waiting for is the gas to push us. That way we kind of have to move out of here. Again, on this bottom like airstrip right here, there is a little part of it in the final zone that's still in, which is extremely powerful because it is ultimately the ultimate high ground. We hear someone's footsteps. They're going to push in. Claymore's going to go off with the gas canister, get a free down. The guy ends up leaving the game. We're going to close the door, place another Claymore, reset our positioning here. Kind of just wait.
Get out there and finish this. Gas is closing in. Relocating.
Again, what we're doing is we're trying to bait somebody in here. I think that I hear somebody on our roof. So I'm just trying to make some shots, bait some people into this. Ends up being that this car pushes right here. Not really too sure exactly what he's doing. I end up going to cluster the ground here. And again, 2 people are fighting. The guy above me dies. The guy in the car is still alive. And then this is going to be where the gas is finally starting to move. So we're going to end up having to move here. Trying to basically try and go into the next zone and hold the best positioning into that zone. I keep thinking I hear creaks, maybe it's footsteps above me, so I know that there's at least somebody around me that I'm gonna have to try and fight once the zone gets close enough. And it ends up being that the Claymore goes off, hits him, we're gonna chase the kill, we end up cracking him, and he's gonna ego chow, we're gonna down him, pull him. We're going to go ahead and loot up right now, take that kill streak. We find a durable mask on this guy's body, which helps us out a lot because the durable gas mask is insane. Go back in just to position ourselves for a second, kind of reset, get some more loot. I end up just checking the door, see if anyone's there, and then I'm going to buy a UA. We don't really have another buy anywhere in the next couple of zones, so we can just kind of spend our money. I think a UA was a good call here just to see if we saw anybody that was directly kind of around us for now. So right now what I'm doing is while I'm maintaining high ground and I'm not necessarily in the final zone, what I'm trying to do is just scout my surroundings right now and see what I can find. Because if I can clear out what's down here below me, I can basically take this entire bottom like hillside kind of cliff area and just hold it till endgame because it is in the final zone. I see some fighting. Okay. Again, I see 2 people on the radar. See one on the left and then one on the right, which makes me see that I know where 3 out of the 7 people are. If you can see above me, you see there's 7 people alive. And that means that the 2 people I can eliminate where they are. And then the third one is me, so I can eliminate exactly where they are. So there's 4 people that are ghosted that I don't know where they are on the map. So what I'm just doing right here is I'm really trying to figure out and see if there's anybody on my side. That way I can kill them and clear out my side. So it is important to notice I saw a second loadout on top of mine. So usually that means that there is somebody pretty close and on my side of the circle. So I know I should be really careful here. I end up seeing one guy here. He ends up just, I don't know exactly what he's doing. Like I said, this was a 1.17 KD lobby. So it wasn't the best lobby. But we clear that guy out. Again, we see another guy flying. We're going to go ahead and beam him up. Combat Scout's really helpful on this map. We're going to go ahead and clear him out. And what we're going to do is essentially, because these loadouts are actually very strong, we're going to go ahead and use them as sort of like a head glitch kind of thing. Just because they're very strong to play behind, especially for cover. We see the gas pushed out our right side here. So unless somebody is gas playing up to our right, there's no way they're going to be getting up here. There is a zip line right in front of us. I'm going to use this extra cluster to cluster out that left side of the map. And I'm going to pick this one up. And then since there's a zip here, I'm going to go ahead and double clay that just in case somebody ends up, zipping up. They're going to be really hurt from that. And it'll basically be kind of like a free kill for us. In the moment, I don't necessarily really check the player count as often as I should. But there's only 3 people left. And we saw that one guy in the distance when we killed the very first guy when we jumped down here. So we know one is pretty far away. My thoughts is that basically there would be another guy on my left. but I was completely unsure. So we go ahead and we notice, we pull up the map, we see the shots. So we open the map and we see red dots, which means they're shooting. And then I notice the player count go from 3 to 2, which basically means it's a 1v1. It's just one guy left, and we know that he's in that general area over there. What I was thinking now is, because we know that he's over there, we know that he's on that kind of lower like rim of mines. I'm gonna go ahead and take the high ground here, which is this building. But I was really not too confident in knowing exactly where he was and all the angles that mines had. So I eventually decided, you know what, I don't actually like this. I'm gonna go ahead and take the higher ground again. Also with, I don't know exactly why the supply choppers spawn in 6 zone, but it's like you cannot hear anything. So I decided, you know what, I don't really like this spot. I'm gonna go and take high ground again. I don't know exactly where he could come from, or where he is, or where he might beam me from. So I'm gonna just back up here, because that hill, that cliff is still in endgame. So we're kind of just playing it safe here, just trying to watch our angles, see exactly if we can spot him. We're not able to spot him at all. I don't know exactly where he is. Then we see an airstrike being called in. We didn't get a notification, so we're safe here. But we now know basically exactly where he is. So he's somewhere in this general vicinity over here behind the building. So we know what general vicinity of where he's going to be coming from. We're just going to go ahead and wait for zone to move. We're fine up here. We're still in. And we know zone rotate, so we can make a gas play if we need to. I still don't even know where that guy like shot us from. Yeah. I still had no clue where he was. And zone is about to close to the shift. So what I do is I get ready. I think if I'm early enough to this spot, it's going to kind of catch him off guard. Again, we have that gold mask to play with, so we're just going to lay down here. Again, we don't really know where he is, so we're just going to kind of play super passive. It ends up being that he's right below us. We get some shots in. We still have our cluster strike, which is going to force him to move. Good. He ends up moving. We beam him. He goes down. We jump off. Try and fool him in the air just to be like kind of cool with it or whatever. We kind of troll him, put some claymores down, wait for him to res, and then GG. So that's exactly kind of like the mind and thinking of what I was thinking in this solo gameplay, and is essentially how the positioning on Caldera really controls the flow and the moments of the game. I know this isn't my favorite map by any means. I'm not going to be praising Caldera day and night on Twitter and whatnot, but it's not a bad map. You just have to play it correctly. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and continue to make these videos in solos, duos, trios, and quads. I'm going to try and also get some footage of Vanguard Royale, because again, this one was in BR solo, so it's a little bit different than the Vanguard Royale mode that we have now. But these will keep coming back and forth. They're going to be alternating them, so they're still going to be this is still going to be very relevant in the rest of the map, and you can use this stuff on Vanguard Royale as well. That's essentially the breakdown of the positioning that I was thinking of in this particular circle. I have a bunch of different solo gameplay I can also do this on, where they're not, it's not necessarily the most beneficial circles. It might actually be a circle that ends literally out in the middle of the open, and how we play that one. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, if you want to see any of this stuff live, I do all this kind of stuff live every single day on Twitch. Again, my Twitch is just at OPMarked. If you guys want to go give me a follow or check me out. Again, I stream almost every single day. Also, the link will be in the description below. If you guys want to see more footage, more content like this on the YouTube channel, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys. Again, this is a series that I really want to try and invest a lot more time into, because I think you guys would really benefit from it as well. And I think a lot of you already do enjoy this stuff, and I just need to start doing it more. So again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want more of this. And also let me know which game mode you guys like the most on Caldera, and the game mode you want to see me do like another breakdown of. So again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. My name's OPMarked, and I'll see you guys on the next one.